Hello there, Mark Eyre here. I'm here to talk in this video about the second step to ethical power from my book Stand Up and Live. Now, you might already have seen video number 1 in which I talked about the first step, and that is to accept that power is inevitable to life. Here I'm going to talk about the second step to ethical power. The second step, in brief, is to notice how you feel in the moment in any particular situation, because that feeling will give you a lot of data that will be helpful in assessing your own state of power at that point. There's a basic equation, and it's very simple, and I think it works brilliantly. So if we feel good at any point in time, then we are very likely to be in an empowered situation. We'll be feeling powerful, we'll be feeling energetic. If we're feeling bad at any point in time, then equally we're likely to be very disempowered. So we've either lost our power or someone has taken it away from us. So noticing how we feel is really important. So good equals empowered and bad equals disempowered. If we go back to perhaps how we felt, and I can think of how I felt when I was in my early 20s, I'd just graduated with a degree, I was looking forward to the world of work, and the feelings that I had then were very empowered. I felt like I could change the world, and many people leave school, university and college feeling just that way. And when we're young, often that is how we feel. We feel like everything can change, the world's our oyster, we're going out there and we're going to shape our future. And what happens in between then and later on is life happens. And good things can happen and some bad things will happen. And often it's the bad things that will most affect us. So we notice things going wrong and they affect our sense of ourself and our sense of power. And so we never quite recapture that feeling that we had when we were younger. We let other things stop us from feeling as powerful. Connecting with our feelings in the moment will help us to assess where we are. And then we can do something about it if we realise that we're in a disempowered situation. And later on in these videos, I will talk about some of the tools and techniques that we can adopt to boost our power level at any point in time. Let's have a think about some of these feelings. Talked about bad feelings, so let's think about what are the signs that might tell us that we're losing power. Some examples might include tiredness. You know, people feel tired all the time. I feel tired every night. I just want to sleep. Could be a sign. Might just be we're not sleeping very well, but it could also be that we feel disempowered. Because if you're really enthusiastic about something and you're full of energy, you don't feel tired. It might be that we have a sense of dread, that something's about to happen and we're dreading it. And it could be anything from meeting our boss to a family get-together, or somebody's come visiting, and we're just dreading it. And that's a sense that we're losing power. We might have a sinking feeling generally. Perhaps in a situation where we thought it was going okay and then suddenly notice our feelings sinking. Perhaps during a presentation, that might say something's not quite right there. Or a sense of frustration. We could just be frustrated at things, and often we see people blow a fuse at the most inappropriate things, and it is the classic straw that broke the camel's back scenario. And maybe a sense of being on a treadmill would be another example. You know, a day after day I get up and I do the same thing and I have to run just to stand still. That would be a real sign of loss of power, that we're giving it up somewhere along the line. And sometimes it might also not just be how we feel in the moment, but starting to notice more what we do in the moment could also be quite instructive. So things like where we notice we spend huge amounts of time on trivialities in life. And asking ourselves the question, how important is this stuff that I'm doing now? You know, and if we spend a lot of time on trivia, that might be an indication that we're taking our time away from stuff that's really important. And that is a state of disempowerment. So noticing the things that we do. If we're spending a lot of time in perhaps on hobbies, but taking it to the extreme, that might give us data as well, that we're spending so much time there that actually the more important stuff over here is being ignored. So noticing how we feel, noticing what we're doing in the moment, taking a step out of our head and just looking at ourselves can actually be very helpful in assessing our power level. And once we've done that, we can start to take action. So in summary, step 2 to ethical power is to notice how we feel in the moment and ask ourselves a question: is this a good feeling or is it not? And we'll usually be able to answer that. And the less good that feeling is, the more likely it is that we're losing our power, and we can then act on that. So that's all for today. In the next video, I will talk you through the third step to ethical power, which deals with, well, what do we do after that, when we have noticed. But for now, I'll sign off.